Hi, everyone. My name is Luisa Rojas, and I'm presenting from the investor perspective. The company that I choose is Seabound, and it's a startup that builds machines to capture carbon from ships. I choose Seabound because I love how it mixes engineering and innovation to help the planet. So, what's the problem? The ship industry creates about 3% of the global carbon emission, and there are more than 60,000 big ships using heavy fuel oil. The International Maritime Organization now requires ships to cut 40% of their emissions by 2030. The most companies don't have a good solution for this yet, and the carbon taxes are rising very fast. So, this is a big environmental and a business problem that needs action soon. So, what's the solution? Seabound created a small device that connects to the ship exhaust system and it captures 95% of the CO2 and turns it into a solid material that can be stored and reused. The best part is that ships don't need to be new or have a new engine or a new design. The system can be simply just be added to the existing ship. They are already testing the product with shipping companies in Europe. What's the market opportunity? The global shipping market is worth more than 200 billion a year, and it produces about 3 billion tons of CO2. Because of new laws and taxes, companies now have the reason to pay for a solution like Seabounds. About 60% of ships can be upgraded by 2030. Seabound can also make money from leasing equipment and selling carbon credits, not only from selling their product. What's their competitive advantage? There are other companies like Carbon Rich and Amogy that are also working on clean tech for ships. But Seabound is different because its system is lighter, easy to install, and it uses less energy. It also works with ships already in use, not just the new ones. So the idea came from our research at Cambridge University, which gives them a very strong credibility and support. Using Salmon's POCD framework, I will start with people. Seabound was founded by Alicia Fredrickson and Charles Knuckle, both engineers from Cambridge. They have a small team, about 10 people, who are very motivated and focused on their mission. They are supported by Y Combinator and advisors from Marx and MIT. They could use some more experience in the operation and the scaling side, but that can always be fixed by hiring some advisors or a COO. Now for opportunity, context, and deal. The opportunity is huge. A retrofit market worth over 20 billion by 2030. The context is positive. The world is currently pushing for cleaner energy and governments are adding carbon taxes to shipping. So what's the deal? Seabound raised about 4 million in seed funding and now it plans in a series 8 of grow pilots projects. The main challenge is that technology needs a lot of money and a lot of investment before it starts making profit. So investor will give funds step by step. What risk and mitigation I see? So the first risk is slow adoption, since the shipping industry can be very conservative. So they help to help with this, Cbon could offer a leasing model so companies don't pay all at once. Another risk is competition from new fuels like hydrogen or ammonia, but Cbon can also combine its system with the new fuels later. Also, by doing milestone based funding, investors can reduce risk and pay only when results are proven. So, what are my recommendations as an investor? And after my analysis, my decision is a go if recommendation. Fund CBAM if the pilot testing confirms that the system works well and lasts long. The company has a strong technical team, a huge market, and a real global impact. The risks are high, but the potential benefits are even higher. It is a great example of a high risk, high reward investment that also helps sustainability goals. So for my research, I use information from International Energy Agency, IMO, Crunchbase, and Seabound's website. I also interview a mechanical engineer who said the system is possible and it can adapt to other fuels. and retrofitting is possible. And I also interviewed an environmental engineer who liked the Seabound idea of a carbon credit and reusing current ships without having to get new ones. That's just an extra benefit to the environment. I applied the POC framework to connect data and risk to my recommendations. Thank you all for listening. I hope you all agree that Seabound is a worth investment. Thank you.